There's something happening in the Vaughan real estate market that the headlines are missing. And most of that's because the media is mainly focused on the Toronto real estate market or the greater Toronto area overall. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. Yes, prices are still down. The news says it's a slower market, but the May sales numbers actually say otherwise. And what's really interesting is the market is responding differently to each property segment. It's like we have three different markets operating all within one market. In one segment of the market, homes are selling over asking. Buyers are competing. Homes are moving in roughly 24 days. That market is the seller's dream right now. In another segment of the market, properties are sitting. There are 6.5 months of inventory. In addition to the lowered prices year over year, buyers are negotiating 3 to 4% off the price. That market clearly belongs to the buyers. Same city, same month, completely different reality depending on what you own. Now, here's the thing. If you don't know which market you're in, that misread could cost you tens of thousands of dollars, either by leaving money on the table or by pricing yourself out of a sale entirely. And today, I'll walk you through where that demand went in the month of May and what every Vaughan family needs to know about the next 6 months. Whether you're holding, you're buying, or you're moving out, stick around to the very end because I'm going to share with you the move up math. And if you own property or thinking about buying here in the city of Vaughan, the supply picture I'm going to show you changes the math on everything. All right, let's start at the top. In May 2026, 300 homes sold in Vaughan. That's 32 more than April and 17 more sales, or roughly about 6% higher from last May. On the surface, that's good news. It means the market is moving. But here's the context that people miss. If we pull back 10 years, the average May in Vaughan saw about 353 sales. That's 50 less sales, or roughly 15% below that number. Sales are recovering, but slowly. Buyers are coming back to the market, but they are being selective. They're not chasing anything. They're waiting for the right product at the right price. And here's the thing that changes everything. Sellers are disappearing. New listings in Vaughan have also been dropping compared to a year earlier for about 5 months running. New listings came in at 829. Last May, it was 1,067. That's 238 fewer listings, or about 22% year over year. Active listings are also down 16%. At the end of May, there was 1,363 homes. Last May was at 1,606. So we have 263 fewer active listings sitting on the market right now. That means supply is shrinking. And when supply shrinks, while demand starts to tick up, the balance shifts. The average price came in at $1,190,000, down 8.5% from last May, but up slightly compared to April. Now, here's the thing. That's the fourth month in a row the average price ticked up month over month. That could be a signal. Sales rising, listings falling, price starting to recover. 3 months ago, we couldn't say that, but now things are looking a bit different. Now, let me give you a key figure for the month of May. Right now in Vaughan, we sit at 4.73 months of inventory. To put that into context, from 0 to 3 months is a seller's market. From 3 to 6 months, it's a balanced market. And anything over 6 months, it's a buyer's market. That puts us right at the edge of a balanced market. We were at 6.2 months of inventory in January, and now we're down to 4.7 months. That number has dropped every month for 4 months in a row. 6 months from now, if that trend holds, we could be having a very different conversation. Another key stat is the absorption rate, which is the share of new listings that sell in the same month that they are listed in. It was 36% in May. Back in January, it was 31%. In May of last year, it was 27%. That one shift, buyers absorbing more of the supply each month, is what's pulling the market back into balance. Now, let's talk about the number that shocked me the most when I saw it. Townhome sales in Vaughan is up 67% year over year. Not 6, not 16, 67% more townhomes sold this May compared to last May. This is where all the demand went. 52 townhomes sold compared to 31 a year ago. And that's a difference of 21 more sales. and they sold at roughly 101% of the asking price. That means buyers are paying over the list price. Some are actually competing over the same home. Now, let me put that into perspective for you real quickly. The average price was only $1,013,000, which is down 13% year over year and roughly down 4% compared to April. So while buyers are bidding on properties, prices are not necessarily rebounding or even inching forward at this point. New listings on townhomes dropped from 127 down to 97. Active inventory dropped from 166 down to 143. And months of inventory dropped from 6.1 last May to 2.9 months this May. This is a very big tightening into a deep seller's market by any definition. And also, the absorption rate is at 54%. So overall, here's what the data is actually telling us. Buyers have been sitting on the sidelines doing the math, have finally decided that the value is there, and they've made their move. Before I get into the detached and condo breakdown, I would really appreciate your support if you could subscribe to my channel, like and share this. It would really help me expand my reach to other people that would find this information helpful. Okay, let's talk about the detached market. Arguably the most important section for most Vaughan families thinking about upsizing. New listings dropped from 492 last May to 390 this May. That's about a 20% drop of fewer listings coming to market. Active inventory also came down from 711 to 578. So about 130 fewer homes are sitting on the market. 148 detached properties sold in May. That's down 2% from last year, so it's basically flat. The average price was $1,586,000. That's down about 5% year over year. Months of inventory for detached properties was at 4.1 months. Last May, it was at 5 months. And the absorption rate jumped from 31% to 38%. So more of the new listings that are hitting the market are selling in the same month. Inventory dropped by 19% from last May. Fewer detached homes are on the market. The sell to list ratio is 98.5%. So buyers are negotiating modestly. The average concession is about 1.5%. So the detached market is trending in a balanced market with about 4 months of inventory. So realistically, neither side holds all of the cards. Now here's how I read that. The detached market in Vaughan took a hit over the past couple of years, but a 5% drop when townhomes and condos are down 13% tells me detached is finding its floor. Demand is steady. Buyers aren't running from detached homes. They're just being more disciplined about price. Now, if you own a detached home, price it right and it'll move. Price it wrong and you'll feel it pretty fast. One quick note on semis before I get into condos, because they do exist, although there's very few sales. Only 16 semi-detached properties sold in Vaughan. Last May, that number was 27. So it's too small of a sample to draw any firm conclusions, but the data is kind of interesting. New listings on semis dropped from 61 down to 40, and active inventory remained fairly steady, from 59 to 58. Months of inventory for semis loosened, however, from 2.3 months last May to 4.1 months this May. So semis is the one segment in Vaughan that softened on the absorption side, but hasn't tightened in any way. Average price on semis is $1,043,000. That's down 12% year over year. So let's treat semis as directional for this month, not gospel. The sample size is just too small to read too much into a single month. Now, getting into the condos. If you own a condo in Vaughan right now, I have to be straight with you because I think a lot of condo owners have been telling themselves the market will bounce back any month now. The May data isn't saying that at all. With 6.6 months of inventory, that is the deepest buyer's market of any segment in Vaughan right now. 467 active condos are competing for only 73 buyers. The sell price to list price ratio is 96.4%, meaning on average, buyers are negotiating 3.5%, 4% off the actual asking price. But there is some relief. Condo sales have actually gone up 24% year over year, so buyers are starting to come back to this segment. Days on market dropped from 39 down to 34 this May, so homes are moving faster than they were this time last year. This isn't a dead market. It's a market that requires strategy. If you're listed at the wrong price, you sit. If you price it where the data says buyers are transacting, you move. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. The condo owners who are winning right now are the ones who are priced honestly, presented well, and got ahead of the correction instead of chasing it down. And now I'm going to connect all of this together and share with you the move up math I promised at the beginning of this video without actually doing the math. It's just simple logic because the numbers do differ depending on your specific situation. Here's the one thing that I want you to take away from this video. Vaughan is not just one market. It never has been. But the gap between segments right now is wider than anything I've seen in many years. Townhomes, where it appears sellers are in control, are selling at 101% of the asking price with about 2.9 months of supply. Condos, on the other hand, where buyers are in control, are selling at 96.4% of the asking price with 6.6 months of supply. That gap from 2.9 months to 6.6 is a 130% difference in supply between two segments in the same market. Now, what does that mean practically? What does that mean for the move up method? If you're a condo owner thinking about moving into a townhouse, this may be one of those better moments that we've experienced in the past several years to make that transition. You're buying into a townhouse segment before prices begin to rise. You remember the prices are lower year over year, and you're selling your condo while buyers are starting to come back, so you're able to sell it relatively quicker. That window for that move is not going to stay open forever. It can change at any time. But the greater opportunity in the move up that I wanted to bring to your attention that nobody's talking about is that in May, townhomes in Vaughan sold for 101% of their list price. That means they're selling on average more than they were asking for, and they sold relatively quickly. It's in a seller's market. So the worry of whether you can sell your townhome or not has dropped significantly to lower levels, given that your marketing presentation and your pricing is on point. Now, in the same month, detached homes sold at 98% of the list price. Detached sellers on average took a discount and are selling in a balanced market, so it's taking them a little bit longer to sell. So if you sell a townhouse and buy detached in the same window, you're selling at a premium relatively fast in today's market and buying at a discount in the same transaction. That's a story that the market is telling us this May. That should be your key takeaway from this video. The question is whether you're positioned to hear it or whether you're going to read about it in 6 months from now and wish that you had made a move sooner. The link is down in the description if you want to have a thorough conversation about your situation. And if you want to know why you shouldn't buy a pre-construction home in the city of Vaughan, check out this video over here or over here, wherever it's located. My name is Ali, and I'm helping Vaughan families make the right move.